Hey guys, I am back with a new video, and today I am talking about me being a film major at my college, which is Lawrence University, and that whole process of what it's like, how it's been, and how that's relating to my future plans actually for grad school. Basically, I decided to come in undecided for undergrad, basically because of the fact that I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I was kind of psychology for a little bit, mostly due to SVU and all that, and I was thrown into gender studies because I was like, well, I'm queer and I feel like gender studies would be really interesting to study. But then I also thought, like, is it really going to be a long-term interest for one, and then two, am I really going to have a strong passion for it? And then also three, like, is it gonna really make me money post-grad? So I tried psychology. I had one class, I dropped it, and I dropped it because it was at 8:30, which I do not recommend at all, and I just wasn't with it. I was falling asleep, I wasn't doing the work, so yeah. And then I've only taken 2 gender studies courses technically here. I took intro, which I got like a C on, and my whole family roasted me because they were like, how do you get a C in gender studies when all you talk about is gender? And I was like, don't start, please don't start right now. So that was interesting. And then I took another class called transgender history, which I got, I think, a B on or an A. That was pretty cool. Shout out to that professor. So yeah, and that's really it. I haven't taken any other psychology courses because I was like, I don't want to be a psych major anymore. And I still was undeclared at the time, my freshman year, but I decided I didn't want to do that. I also decided I wasn't going to do gender studies because that just wasn't my interest for a long term, and I felt like because my whole life was consumed by gender for an extended period of time, I did not want to focus about gender for extended period of time. There's other topics, of course, within the realm of gender studies and psychology, but it wasn't for me. So I took a film course called Intro to Film, and we did a film boot camp for like a weekend where you learn about like the equipment, how to do shot lists, how actors work, all that, directing, yada yada, lighting, and I loved it. I fell in love with it instantly, and I was like, this is it. This is my niche. At first I was going to do English, but then I was like, I don't want to write about that white man all the time, so no. So I picked film because, one, it was most engaging and the most hands-on and the most practical for me, really, because I am a creative person. We have creative writing here, but it wasn't a major yet at the time. It's a major now that I'm a senior, but it wasn't a major when I was starting out at college, so I picked film, which is my major now, and I'm just happy with that. So basically our program here at Lawrence works with, you take intro to film usually your first year, either in the first semester or the second quarter of the second semester, and once you take that, you're clear to take any other film classes basically. And then from there I took writer versus director, which was not exactly what I thought it would be. I thought it would be a sense of like, writing a screenplay and then directing it on the camera. It wasn't any of that. It was basically us reading a book and then talking about how TV adaptations or like movie adaptations to books and movies compare. And I'm like, I got an A, but I was so annoyed with the concept of the class. I felt so misleaded with the class for like a whole term basically. And then I took my other favorite class in film, which was Black, Brown, and Queer on Film, and it was Chef's Kiss. It was great. It's taught by one of my favorite professors so far, and it was just really good because we talked about the concepts of like Black and brown people, and even some indigenous people, and what that meant for them to be queer, and specifically queer representation in media. Mostly movies themselves, not really television or like YouTube or like the streaming platform and stuff like that, but mostly films by themselves. And it was a very interesting concept because I was just like blown away. We saw a lot of different types of films and like a lot of parts of like queerness, so like what it means to be a queer child or a queer adult, yada yada. And I was just astonished. It was great. I loved it. And then you have the option to take other classes such as like the documentary forms or Avant-Doc, which is another documentary class we have for production. You need at least one of those two to graduate with the major. So I took documentary forms, which I made four or five short documentaries, and that was pretty interesting. But the thing is, it was all solo projects. I didn't have to be solo projects, but they were technically. since you were the director and the producer of the short documentary. My topic was about like types of queer love and what that meant for people, and it was pretty interesting. It was something for sure. I have I probably will upload some of them to my YouTube at some point, but until then, they're on my Vimeo, so I will link that down below so people can watch it if they're interested. And yeah, I also taken, what else have I taken? I haven't done an independent study actually in my major, surprisingly. I wanted to for like the longest time. I just never had an idea really, and all the ideas I had were kind of based off other classes that I already taken before, so yeah. And then I've taken Film History 1, which was really cool because Film History 2 was apparently trash, because all about like, taught by this one professor, just talked about like masculinity in films. We also have that class. We also have crossover classes with different majors. So like we have a Spanish film class, we have a German film class, which I took, which was amazing. I was also a German major for a little bit, but that time we did not finish that major. So yeah, but it was awesome. I've also taken, yeah, I've taken mostly those classes, like the bare main courses for my major, because my major is so small and it's only like 4 years old now, 5 years old, that there's only like 10 classes you really need to graduate, which is pretty standard I think for a new major really, which is good, and I like it. And that relates to my next point really, about how because I'm applying to grad school for screenwriting. My school had a screenwriting teacher and a screenwriting class, but then the person left and they never got a new one. So I never taken actual screenwriting courses here my entire time I've been at Lawrence. But that's okay, because I am hoping to get into this program, either Emerson or this one in Canada, so that I can learn how to screenwrite properly and really pitch my ideas and format my ideas and polish my ideas off. I think I'm a pretty good writer. I've been told I'm a pretty good writer, and I know I'm a pretty good writer, but I just need the practicalities and the skill sets to be a better writer. I think there's always room for improvement. But yeah, and it's really easy just to sign up for majors here. You just have to fill out a small form and check off a box or two of your major or minor, and that's pretty nice. I could have finished with a minor in creative writing, but the way it was set up at the time, it was like a bunch of English classes, and I was like, I really don't want to do all that. I'm really not feeling that. So no, but I'm happy that I finished all my classes, so technically I'm done at this point. I already finished my senior project, which is due in like 4 weeks, so I have another 4 weeks to really polish it off. And after this term, I'm pretty much done. I just need to wait until the end of spring term, because we have 3 terms here instead of 2, for me to really graduate. So yeah. Hopefully my senior IS don't kick my ass too much, but I am looking forward to hearing back from other schools. I am looking forward to hearing from other people's capstones, because that's what we call our senior projects here, capstones. And just overall, just looking forward to like the end of my undergrad experience, because it's been a time. It's definitely been a time. But yeah, that's basically how the film major at Lawrence works, for people that are maybe interested in film or just want to know how it works for me personally. And it's good. Professors here are very in tune with their students, and just their interests and passions, and they definitely recommend stuff to you when they hear about things, and they help you out for sure in their free time. They're also not afraid to give like really good criticism, because good criticism helps you do better in your work. But also we have this kind of bubble culture where people just kind of like be babied, basically. It's like a weird thing, but basically they do that. But I'm hoping that from what I've heard, that most people in my major specifically do well post-grad, so I'm hoping that I also do well post-grad in my major. I believe I will. I polished up my resume with my friend Caroline, so shout out to you, Caroline, for helping me with my resume and my LinkedIn, and I'm excited. I'm excited for things. I'm excited to see how things go, and that's it really. So yeah, if you guys have any questions or comments, leave them down below or email them to me. I will do my best to answer them. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, obviously, and I will see you guys next time.